I'm a disability specialist, speech therapist, and basically I work with the students who've got intellectual disabilities in the school environment by supporting the teachers to develop programs that look at, promoting their social, their communication skills, and just appropriate behaviors in the community. Communication is really, it's about understanding what others are saying to you. It's being able to express yourself. Without the ability to understand and express yourself, it just must be such a frustrating experience for our students. So it's about looking at, how is it that we as communication partners can make that process a lot more easier and support the students to develop the skills to, have basic needs, make choices in their life, express what sort of life that they would like, make sure that, we can help them achieve that. So I've developed an app. It's called My Rainbow of Emotions. And the idea behind the app is to help our students to firstly learn how to identify what they're feeling and then learn how to express that appropriately. And also, most importantly, being able to label the degree of their emotions. So, being able to say, I'm a little bit angry versus I'm extremely angry. That's important because then it's only by communicating the degree of what you're feeling, you can then think about, well, what do you need in order to resolve it? So one part of the app is to help the person learn how to identify their emotion. Then the next part is looking at what tools can you use to actually manage your emotion. What is great about education support is that it actually creates a very individualized, a personalized learning plan that meets and actually acknowledges the needs of our students. That if a student has difficulties with attention or difficulties with communication or difficulties with taking in information, we can use a very multimodal approach where we present the same information in a variety of ways. So we can tap into the person's learning style, so whether it be visual, verbal, hands-on, and so on, and actually create a plan for them that is relevant, meaningful, and they can actually achieve. Yeah. And because there are fewer number of students, the advantage then is that they get more of that one-on-one support than they would get in a mainstream. And being in this education support center, which is right next to mainstream, you have the best of both worlds, really.
First of all, I do individual counselling with the students as well as their parents if they would like that extra support. I work with the students on a number of issues that are concerning them, such as self-esteem, confidence, bullying. Sometimes that's an issue. And really I support them in giving them the skills that they need to sort of use out in the real world once school finishes. We cover topics ranging from feelings and emotions to what happens to your body when you are feeling unsafe. For example, I teach the children about early warning signs, which is your body's response to when you're feeling unsafe. So I really get the students to listen to their bodies and to get them to understand what is actually happening when they're feeling certain emotions. And then it gets them to think about what they can do when they're feeling unsafe and to get out of that situation. Drumbeat is a form of therapy using music, using the African drums. We really like playing games with the students on the drums because it really gets them used to the sound of the drums and it gets them to express themselves using the drums. We do silly things like everyone playing something different and see how the noise kind of creates. They build a lot of confidence as well. The first session we had was quite quiet and, a little bit hesitant because, drumming does make quite a loud noise. But by the end of the session, everyone's getting involved, everyone's got a smile on their face and they're really, really loving using the drums as a way of communicating.
every program that's been run by the school is to educate our children that they have a life, a future. So that's what we prepare our senior kids, senior students. They become more independent and they are more confident, and preparing them for a polytechnic course either, or leading them to employment or an alternative employment. These are the things we aim, or it's our set goal for the school. So education for life is our vision. Some of our kids are really brilliant, and we do Maths Stage 1, English Stage 1, Workplace Learning Stage 1, Career and Enterprise Stage 1, and these are all courses of study, and they are being enrolled for that, and our kids are doing a very good job. And with the workplace learning, it's more of the employability skills, the theory part of what they are doing at the workplace. Being punctual, being regular at your work, communication skills, how do you communicate with your boss, how do you work in a team. So all the employability skills are being covered as a theory here, and the students display these skills when they are out at work. We went to Kings Park. It was a Rio Tinto Naturescape program, and it's more about how to conserve the bushes, how to respect our bushes, and it was really interesting. It was a beautiful presentation, and we learned a lot about how to keep our bushes safe and how it helps us to give us oxygen in the environment, so how important bush is for our life. We do have all the plans before we leave the school. We do have the emergency care plan. We do have the behavior management plan. And we have staff allocated with some of the kids there. So it's all safe, fine. Yeah. So, and we travel train them when we are on buses and trains. So we do have community access programs where we train our kids to be in a public transport, so they know how to use a smart rider card and everything. So they are being prepared before we go out for all these things. Especially with the English one and the outdoor education, they go out to the mainstream and they are being integrated with the mainstream, because adaptive education for inclusive classroom is one of our aims. So we try our best that our kids go to the mainstream to do some of their courses or some of their subjects. Especially with my classroom, I have from year 10 to year 13. It's a versatile classroom with different programs running, but my students are doing extremely well, because it's very easy for me to run a program there, because they are all being individualized for our students, because this community here is being made safe and made more positive, respecting their individuality.